Hello, this is David Lorimer here. Today I'd like to talk about a little bit about chronobiology. This is a book that I've just been reviewing by Philippa Gander called Life in Sync, The Science of Internal Clocks and How We're Disrupting Them. We had a Mystics and Scientists on cycles, and I've talked about cycles already in connection with the life of Goethe. And many of you will be like me, suffering from not quite waking up in the morning because of the change of clock last weekend. It still feels like 6:30 instead of 7:30. But we are subject to these circadian rhythms, the 24-hour rhythms. We're also subject to, or we experience the rhythm of the seasons, the rhythm of the moon, particularly the women, and the rhythm of the year, and migration of birds, where we notice swallows will be arriving soon. A bit cold for them down here at the moment. But we pay a price, as the author establishes, for this divorce from rhythms of nature, especially shift workers. Those of you who work during the night, you have your whole sleep cycle disrupted. And the sleep you get is actually not as good as the sleep you would get if you were following your normal rhythm. And I'm afraid there's worse news, and that's that all-cause mortality is higher among shift workers. And so ideally one isn't involved in shift work. So we're paying a price for violating this innate rhythmicity of life. And that's partly due to artificial light. One of the other important points is how important sleep is, and I'm sure you experience this yourselves. And we try to get away, or some of us with less sleep. Margaret Thatcher famously only had 4 hours sleep and some whiskies at night to sort of keep her going. But I don't think this is a long-term good idea. We should have between 7 and 9 hours sleep. And there's an interesting research here looking at the older sleep pattern of, let's say, 14 hours darkness, certainly during the winter, maybe even more, and 10 hours of light. And what we have now, which is 16 hours of light and 8 hours of sleep. And what's really interesting is the sleep pattern gets compressed in our rhythm. And whereas in the earlier rhythm, think of people subject to nature's rhythms going to sleep or having darkness at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, certainly in Scotland in the winter. And they would then have some periods of sleep and then periods of wakefulness. So this, I think, is an interesting pattern. So I think that one can reflect that we still live in rhythmical time, in rhythmical seasons. And if we can harmonize ourselves with nature rather than try to control it, then our whole lives will be happier and smoother. So think about your rhythms and what rhythm intrinsically suits you, and try to keep that harmonious state of mind. Thanks for listening.